What is up, YouTube? It's Grinch, and this channel is so close to 2,000 subscribers. I just wanted to take a moment to thank all the viewers, all the support, all the likes, all the subscribers to this channel, and I thought we'd get a little bit personal. My collection is right back here behind this door. Let's go do a tour. All right, so here we go. First things first though, let's go ahead. We gotta turn on the lights to the actual cases. I've got all of these wired for lights. I've got multiple cases in here too. I'm gonna just do a quick tour around, and then I'm gonna actually slow down and take my time shelf by shelf here. So just a quick tour around the room here. I got these cases from IKEA, and then I just put a plexiglass, I cut it, put a little plexiglass with some Velcro on here. And then I did all of my custom lighting, you can see there. I did all the wiring for all of that. And then back here, these are the Billy bookcases from IKEA. I've got a few of those. In my old house, I actually had more of them, but living in Southern California, space is a premium. So I'm a little bit smushed in here. I've had to sacrifice space for displaying some sets, unfortunately. So I've kind of got everything all set up like that. I've got a couple different themes going on here too. This is the pricey, expensive case. These are also from IKEA. I did a custom plexiglass door for these as well. I just really like the kind of clean and open view that creates here when you're actually like looking into the case itself. And then all of the lighting here is custom as well. I actually followed another YouTuber who does statue collecting. I followed his instructions for making these. I'll actually link it in the description of this video. So if anybody wants to try to make these, they can. It's not quite as simple as it looks. You do have to be a little bit handy, I will say that. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm actually gonna open up all of these doors. I'm gonna take these off. I'm gonna leave these doors shut, but I'm gonna get everything ready, and then we're gonna go through this shelf by shelf. I'm building this bad boy next. I am so excited about that one. And then in here, I actually have my entire backlog. It's a little bit, little large at the moment. I still got to build that modular. I've got the roller coaster, the newest one in there as well. And then I have all my pieces in here, as well as extra minifigures. I'll open up this side, and you can see I've got all my pieces sorted by part. I actually have another room with more pieces in it. I still haven't figured out a good way to get all my space set up quite yet. I just moved to this new house. Also, unfortunately, the movers flipped these upside down. These were all 1x2 plates that were sorted by color. They're no longer sorted by color, so I've actually need to spend a long weekend and get all of this stuff. Here's my 1x1s. This is just a sad scene now, so I do need to spend a long weekend and get all of these actually resorted and reset up. You can see some remnants of how they were actually sorted, but that's no longer the case. In my backlog, I've got really just a lot of Marvel. I actually just completed the entire Marvel set collection. I've got every single Marvel set. So I do got most of the minifigures on display. I have to get the other ones on display too, but I got some just random Jurassic World sets here. This one I've actually built. I just transported it in this box. And then, like the reindeer battle pack, I still need to build that. That's a set I got off Bricklink used. So I've got some building to do, as you can see. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get these cases opened, and then we will take a closer look at each shelf. All right, I'm back, and first things first, this is my dog. Maya, you want to say hi? There's my dog, Maya. As you can tell, I absolutely hate getting dust on my Legos. I like to display them, which is why I've gone through all the, issues of actually making sure that these cases are dust proof. I even weather stripped these here to keep dust out as best as possible. However, my dog, Maya, loves to get her dog hair in here, so I'm sorry if you see that throughout. It just gets everywhere and it's an ongoing battle and struggle. But first things first, let's start right down here. This is of course the Iron Man mosaic. I'm still actually looking to try to get 2 more of those so I can just complete and do the larger one of the 3 and have the kind of try one of the bigger version of Iron Man where he's actually shooting out the blaster from his arm. And then up here I've got some larger sets that They could fit in some of the cases, but I'd have to sacrifice so much actual space to get them in there, and space is such a premium. So I've actually left them out here, like this guy and the Hulkbuster. They'll probably end up going away at some point, but the Tower of War Tank, this is one of my favorite Lego sets of all time. This is a permanent structure here. I'm actually going to get a smaller, just half case for it so that it can go right up to there. And then that way it'll be dust free. And then actually on the other side will be the Daily Bugle here. So I love those two, but stuff like this I built and reviewed, and I'm gonna actually take down here eventually, and then I'll just throw the little minifigure down there with all the Iron Mans. And same thing with this Black Panther. I do like it. It actually is pretty good looking. It's almost life size, not quite. But you can see, I mean, it's pretty much there, but it's just, I don't know, it's cool, but it's just, when space is a premium, it's going to be one of the first ones to go. Of course, I have the Tower Bridge Battle here. This is awesome. What a great Spider-Man set. Probably the second best Spider-Man set behind the Bugle over there. I'd say it was originally one of the best Spider-Man sets, but I think definitely now the Daily Bugle is better. And then I have both of the Avengers Towers, and then I have the Mjolnir here, of course, as well. Let's start down over here on this side. I've got the CMFs here for Marvel Series 1. I've got Harry Potter Series 2 there, and then part of the reason I actually like this setup so much is you can display something on one side, and then you can display it something on the other side as well. And then when you have some bigger sets like the Sanctum down there that we'll get to, you can actually see both sides of it on each side of the display case, so you kind of can get multiple views at some of the sets, which I really actually like. I'm not quite sure though how to display all my Marvel minifigures yet. There's just so many. I have all of them. They're not all out here yet. Some of them, as you saw, were still in the boxes in there. But I've kind of started to display them by character and by kind of sub-theme. I think that's the best way to do it. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you think the best way to display them are, or let me know how you display your minifigures. These are actually custom stands that I made from wood, spray painted, and then I used some Craggle to get this piece on. So rip this piece. You can't use it for anything else, but I do think those stands look really, really good. So here you can see I've got kind of Captain Marvel, Nick Furies, the Hawkeyes. I've got the Black Widows, and then just some random ones that I didn't have space for, so I just kind of put them there for now. But we got like Taskmaster and Talos. I've got a couple of the that's the Stomper, and then I've got the Sakaar, Iron Man, Hulkbuster back there. And then going down here, I've got all my Thanos, my Cole Obsidian, and then I actually have the Eternals minifigure. Bad movie, but I will say underrated Lego theme. I really actually liked some of the Lego sets from Eternals. This is probably the next shelf that I'm going to clear to actually make space for. These are the mechs and then the buildable figures. I've got the old buildable figures back there. We'll get to those in a second. But like I said, space is a premium, so this shelf will probably be cleared. As well as this shelf over here, I've got the Mighty Micros and then some more of the mechs. I don't know, the Mighty Micros, they're not great sets, but some of them are pretty funny. I particularly really like that little Milano build back there too. That one's great. But then coming back up here, I've kind of got like a little Spider-Man section. I've got the Sanctum Sanctorum basement. I've got one of the first Spider-Man sets outside of the original studio sets that they had. Here I've got all my Iron Man. Not quite all of them, but most of them are here. I've got all the original ones, and this is really what made me want to display it by character, just seeing all the different Iron Mans and being able to compare them versus doing it by movie or anything like that. So this is kind of where I go back and forth with how to actually display all the minifigures. But you know, I've got the Scuba Iron Man there, I've got the Space Iron Man as well, and then coming over here I've got all my Spider-Man. These are great too, great minifigures. This is just an awesome Spider-Man in my opinion. And I've got some of the villains down here and with all the Doc Ocks. And you know, I gotta love that Scorpion minifigure there too. And then there are still a bunch there on the Daily Bugle. Going down here I have the kind of Ant-Man shelf. I like this little section. I put the buildable Ant-Man there too, and then the minifigures are on the other side. And then I already showed you that shelf right there. Coming over here, I've got the Hulks. I'm gonna actually kind of, when I reorganize this, I'm gonna make room and just have all the Hulk big figs with each other. Right now I've got some of them kind of spread out different places. I've got some of the original Spider-Man minifigures from way back in the day. Those are awesome. an extra Bilbo exclusive minifigures just hanging out there from the Blu-ray. Got a couple of Green Goblins and then some Mary Janes from that original studio Spider-Man jet. This is kind of the Spider-Man shelf too. And then up here we get to the Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World minifigures, and this is where I've actually displayed them a little bit differently. This is the first Jurassic Park minifigures, second, third, fourth. So I've actually displayed them of when they've come out, because this collection is not huge yet, and you can see there's a couple more shelves, but it keeps getting added to. So like whenever they come out with new ones, I can just simply start right up here and then continue along with displaying them versus having to actually take the Jurassic Park minifigures and rearrange them anytime a new set comes out. But you can see there's a couple of gaps here. That's because I've got minifigures actually up here that are being displayed with the sets. And then over here we've got more Marvel and then some classic space from the new spaceship that came out last year. We've got some Black Panther villains. We've got Scarlet Witch, Vision, and then Quicksilver. And then down here I've just kind of got some random ones that I just added with like Hyperion, and then the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special minifigures. I've got the I Am Groot. Come on, that's kind of cute, right? It's not too creepy. I can see how people think it's creepy, but personally I'm okay with it. And then down here I've got the Sanctum Sanctorum. It just barely fits, but you'll be able to see it from another view on the back, which I really like. And then here we have the Captain America shelf. We've got the Captain America mech because I kind of ran out of room with the mechs. And then I also just kind of put the villains down here. So I've got all the Red Skulls. I've got the Baron von Strucker. I've got the Falcons too. So definitely the minifigures still need a little bit work on how I'm going to display them. But you can kind of see my goal here is just to have all the Captain Americas in one section, have all the Iron Man, all the Spider-Man, have their corresponding villains. Same thing with like the Guardians of the Galaxy too. I just kind of was trying to space stuff out, get stuff situated so that I could kind of figure out how much space I had and how much, where I needed and what I'd have to get rid of, or not get rid of, but just not display for space reasons. And I've got a couple Spider-Man sets here. I might actually not display these ones too, because I just have so much to display and so much more that I want to display than I'm able to right now. So I showed you the Iron Man mosaic. Let's get over here. We're going to go through the Jurassic Park section. So I've kind of got it sectioned off by movie. Got the giant gate here, and I've got the smaller gate I did a review of. Got their minifigures on the stand. That looks great. I really like this just displays so well, just like that. Down here I have the actual Jurassic Park sets. These all look pretty great on display too. So this is where I've got some of the minifigures scattered throughout still as well. And then we get into some kind of mixed Jurassic World, and then it's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom a little bit, but I just liked having this fence in the background, but really like that set, as you know. And then I've got some of the Indominus Rexes here right next to each other, as well as the Ankylosauruses. Then we have the Jurassic World sets here. We've got the Raptors down here with the little Raptor paddock. We've got the big I-Rex paddock here too, and then the little ambulance. And then this is my Jurassic World Dominion shelf, where I've got just some of my favorite sets from the wave. I don't really like this set that much, as you know. I might be a little bit harsher on it than some people. However, I just liked these two combined. I like having them both together there, and I think it just kind of makes an interesting backdrop. Like when you're looking at all this, right, it's just kind of like jungle, and it's like a Mediterranean backdrop. So I think that's cool. And then of course I've got the kind of classic dinosaurs back here, as well as a Jurassic Park 3 set. And over here I'm going to put the baby dinosaurs I'm going to do a review of soon, as well as the Raptor Chase set from Jurassic Park 3. Alright, so I'm going to move over to the next display case here. I will say really quickly too, I've got all the modulars up here. I just love the modulars, but I don't have the space to do like a full city view, or I used to have the space to kind of have them all set up, but I don't. So I've kind of made a compromise, and I've put them up here on the cabinet so I can still kind of appreciate them, but they are a little bit of a stretch up there, and I've got a few more actually I have to build, but I haven't been a huge collector of the modulars, so I don't actually have them all, which is why I don't really cover them on my channel. But I do just really enjoy them as a Lego fan personally. All right, so coming into here, we've got our Lockwood Estate. This is the Fallen Kingdom shelf. I had to put this over here versus on that other shelf so that because of the height of that set. I just love that set though. It just makes it such a great backdrop. And then when we get down here, I've got more of just the dinosaurs. Love this shelf. I love having just the little T-Rex skeleton back there too. But I've got all the T-Rexes and the rest of the raptors and the baby dinos down here. Got all the baby T-Rexes. Really love that gold one. Fun fact, this tan one wasn't actually released in a set. I think it was a master builder requested it, and they've just started circulating, and they're on Bricklink, but never was actually released in any set, but I think that's kind of cool. Got the mutant lizards. They're kind of like my least favorite of the dinosaurs. They're kind of rubbery too, which is a little bit weird. But yeah, they are what they are. Down here we've got some of the herbivores and some more, just a couple of carnivores are scattered through. Right here we've got Dilophosauruses, the Pteranodons, and then the Triceratops and Stegosauruses. Those are all here. That shelf is pretty good. It's a little bit empty compared to this shelf. Come on, Lego, we need more herbivores. And then we start to get into more of the Marvel. So this is like my Iron Man shelf. I think my goal is to actually put all the Iron Man figures here and then just choose one or two of my favorite sets to actually display on this side. And I think that's how I'm going to do it going forward. Or I'm going to just maybe do a shelf per movie, but then I need way more shelves because there's so many Marvel movies. But this is just kind of what I have for now. Got all the Armory sets, of course. Got the Malibu set there too. I actually really like that set, and the helicopter that it came with isn't too bad. And then I really like this little dummy. I think this is my favorite dummy because it comes with the Iron Man suit in the suitcase with just a sticker on there, which is pretty awesome. And then we have the Thor sets. So we've got the collector's ship there, or sorry, the Grandmaster's ship there. We've got the kind of dire wolf. We got the Colosseum, the goat boat. I still got the minifigures there, and then the Battle for New Asgard monster, terrible Lego set. Space is a premium. You're going away. And then down here we've got Black Panther. I just kind of use that to. It's hard displaying Lego because so many of them want to just sit on the shelf like this. So wherever I can, I'm trying to get more verticality. So that's why I've displayed the Dragon Flyer like that. And I've got the throne and all that. And I'll probably end up picking up some of these sets. I really like this little micro Talon Fighter build that uses the Star-Lord blasters there as a little winglets. And I really like this set. This is probably one of the better Marvel sets of all time too. I mean, not top 5, but probably top 10. Sunbird's really good, and I'll probably end up picking up that Atuma set and just putting it away, and I'll show you where I store my Legos in a little bit. So we'll close this one on and we'll go to the next shelf over here. All right, so up here I've got the Infinity Gauntlet and the Nano Gauntlet, and I've got the kind of minifigure versions right next to them too. I just did that custom based off of that one. I've got all 3 of the helmets. Would have loved that set to be smaller, $70 set. Would have fit perfectly right here, but no, it had to be $200 or $300, whatever the price was. And then we get to the Avengers shelf. So these are some of the original Avengers sets. I've got the Quinjet Escape, or sorry, the Helicarrier Escape. I actually like the little jet build that came with. Really like this just kind of shield truck. That's a great set. And then this is Age of Ultron over here. We've got the Age of Ultron Hulkbuster. And then we've got the Sokovia kind of fortress there too. I actually kind of like that set. I don't know. I think the Ultron wave is actually kind of underrated when it comes to Lego Marvel. And we got Civil War. I love this Roxxon tanker. I've got the airport there, and then the tiny Quinjet. I will do a video comparing all the Quinjets here pretty soon, or ranking all the Quinjets. We got the Black Panther jet. We got a fire extinguisher, and then we've got the Crossbones Hazard Heist back there. And then we go down to the Infinity War section. So I've got the original Sanctum Sanctorum there, or sorry, the second Sanctum Sanctorum, Hulkbuster, the Quinjet, probably the best Quinjet up until the most recent one. That one I think is better than this one, but this is a really good Quinjet from the Endgame movie. We got the dropship, and then we got the Wakanda wall, which looks really, really cool. And then down here we got the kind of the two final battle scenes. I just liked having these right next to each other to compare. And then of course I left the sanctuary here because that was a part of that final battle. And then we got Bro Thor's apartment back there. That's a great set. And then down here, again, I think these are underrated. I really liked this set. I really liked the build for it. It's a really good build. And then this set is surprisingly really good too. It actually, I won't do it now, but you can actually see where it can open up all the way, and you can open up every single section of this, which I think is really cool, that it actually all folds down. And I don't know, I just think it's kind of a classic looking sci-fi ship. I removed the stud shooters so that these don't accidentally shoot. But yeah, I think it's just a classic looking ship, and I think it's on sale right now. It might not be at the time of recording of this video anymore, but really liked that build. These little deviants I could live without, but I really liked that, and I really liked the build for that. And then I also really liked the build for the dragon here. I think that was criminally underrated as a Lego set. Just a great build. I like the little splash pieces here to kind of give it a little bit of life too. And then of course I've got the mini poly bag version next to it. But if I had to change anything with this shelf, I'd probably remove the deviants and some of that stuff, and then I'll just put the minifigures here so I can get them out of that other case. And then just, again, it's all about the space game. Where can I get more space? Where can I get less space, etc. So I can display as much as I can. All right, so this case I have to be a little bit careful with because it's not bolted into the wall. Let me get that open. Okie dokie. So up there I've got the Galaxy Explorer just waiting to find a home, but this is the expensive case. So I've got all my Comic-Con exclusives in here. I've got almost all the Comic-Con minifigures that I want. I just am missing like the really expensive Marvel ones, and I'm also missing Azog from The Hobbit, but I do have the Miles Morales exclusive Comic-Con, was Comic-Con, and I've got the congratulations letter there from Sony. Got the Comic-Con sets. I just need the Ant-Man Comic-Con set. It's gonna go right there. As soon as I get a couple extra bucks, I'll pick that one up. And then I've got the Brickheads, as well as the other Comic-Con sets here. Number 60, that's pretty cool. I've got the Ultron one as well. Nothing exclusive about this other than the set itself. So it's nothing like crazy special, but it's actually number 13. I didn't realize it was that low. For whatever reason, the lower the number just makes it a little bit more rare when comparing it to other sets. But I think that was a pretty cool set too. So those are all here, and then I've got the Hobbit exclusive set too. Unfortunately though, that seal's not broken, but this one is starting to break. You can see it's just kind of breaking apart there. So I need to get a little case to actually put this guy in. So when I pick it up, I don't damage it, and he is number 24 of 1,000. So that's cool. I have the Toy Fair Captain America in there. You can kind of barely see it. I can get that open in a second. I got the Creme de la Creme here with the limited edition C-3PO. You can see him right there. You can see the chrome gold C-3PO still in his original package, and I just put a Ziploc bag around him to protect him. Got the Bricktober packs back there. And I've got some random Brickheads here, just because this is like the more collectible section. In my mind, it made sense to have like the Brickheads because those are purely collectibles on this shelf. And then I got the Noms Charger because I wanted to get that new Nissan Skyline too. And it didn't really fit in anywhere, so I just kind of threw it here. I've got all the Brickheads here. I actually, once upon a time, I used to collect Star Wars, but I don't do it anymore. Just collecting Star Wars is kind of a feat of its own, to be honest, and I figured I can collect Star Wars, or I can collect Marvel, Jurassic World, and a lot of other themes by not collecting Star Wars, so I went with more themes rather than just the one. And there's so many people that collect Star Wars, I just wanted to be a little bit different than that. I do have the Dimensions sets here too. Those are pretty awesome. I really like those sets. They're just different, unique, and one thing I really like about them is their little custom saucers here that they sit on. Those are all uniquely printed. depending on which one. There's some Jurassic World ones there too. So I think those are cool as a collector. I just am looking for the unique sets, which is kind of why I like those Mighty Micros sets as well. And then I put together a little Stranger Things shelf here because I kind of had a few sets, but nowhere to really put it again. So I put it down here. Of course, that's the upside down set, and I've got the exclusive Barb, and then the minifigures on their display case, and then this little Castle Buyers build was actually a Lego store exclusive build. Oh, it's missing the tire. I gotta put that tire on there. But yeah, this was a Lego store exclusive. It was like a free build. You could just go to the Lego store one day. I think it was when season 2 or season 3 was coming out. It was whenever this set came out, like that month later, you could go in and actually build this. So I was lucky enough to find somebody who was selling it online, because I think you have to be a kid to do it. So, which as you can tell, I'm not. But it's a fun little build. I don't know. It's just unique. It's different. Again, as a collector, I'm looking for that sort of stuff. I've got the brickheads there too. Rip, this little piece broke there when I moved, but I do have more of them to replace it with. Not exactly Lego, but still kind of cool. This is a Lego variant of the Superior Spider-Man. And then this is a Lego variant of the Rocket Raccoon comics. And since I collect Marvel, I found these, and I actually found kind of a good deal on them, so I got them. But what's really cool about this one is that's actually signed by Stan Lee himself, and it's certified. So that's pretty cool, and it's a 9.8 grade. So yeah, Stan Lee actually unfortunately passed away on my birthday. So when that happened, actually that was the day I went out and bought this, just as like a homage to him for creating Marvel and being the man that he was. So that's kind of cool. And then down here I've got some just like gift with purchases. I really like the Nano figures, and this is just a really awesome gift with purchase that came with some of those a few years back. Got the two, I think that was a Comic-Con exclusive, but I've got the 2 Super Mario exclusives as well. As once upon a time I started collecting the Super Mario sets, but kind of got tired of the system, so I just stopped. And then I've got the 40th anniversary of Lego Trains there. That's an awesome set. I'm gonna keep that one in the box. And then this is just one of my favorite sets of all time. It's the Ideas Ship in a Bottle set. This is one that I actually displayed on my desk at work for a while, because it's just kind of a cool, classy looking ship. Shout out to Thiago for designing that one. And then I've got some more random Speed Champion sets. I love Ford Bronco's one of my favorite cars. I drive an Audi, so I like that was a gift from my brother actually, because he knows I like Audi. And then I've got some of the just random gift with purchases down here too that I've built and accumulated over time. I have more, but a lot of them I keep in the box. I don't know why. I don't plan on reselling them. I just, for some reason, I like to keep the gift with purchases in the box because they're just so unique and different a lot of times. All right, so I'm gonna close that up. We'll go, Maya, excuse me. There you go. So we're gonna go over here now. We'll get to the other side. So I've got the Series 1 of the Harry Potter, and then I got that Avengers Tower gift with purchase. The Iron Man was with all the Iron Men. Down here I've got the Thors, and then kind of more of the cosmic stuff, I guess. But I've got all the Thors, and then I put the Bruce Banners down here in the Hulk minifigures too. You can see those. I got Hela there. Awesome minifigure. I actually really like her crown. That's just so cool and unique. And then down here I've got some more like Iron Man type figures. So I've got the War Machines, and I got like the villains and Ultron, and then the Children of Thanos. Actually, this one is out of place. I'm going to move him really quickly. We'll have the plexiglass out. There we go. Got the buildable Iron Man. I'll probably pick him up, or I don't know. I'll probably keep him out, but I'll probably put that Hulkbuster up there away. More of the mechs, the original buildable figures. Don't worry, Cursed Hulk can't hurt you. He is in this display case, and he is locked up. We've got Black Panther minifigures. Those are pretty awesome, pretty great. The new movie was pretty good too. I've got kind of some of the X-Men minifigures. I have the rest of them. They're just in the boxes still. I need to get them out on display here. And then up here, I actually have all of the Pirate of the Caribbean minifigures. And since they are not really adding to this collection, I've kind of just done a custom setup here where I've got all the Jack Sparrows up top. And I kind of get like to the main good characters-ish, kind of, I guess. They kind of switch sides a lot in this franchise. And then I get into like more of the pirates. Awesome Davy Jones. Marcus, one of my favorite minifigures in that, was that Hadris? Hadris, I think, right? Another really awesome minifigure. I love both of these head gears that come with them. And then we get into kind of some of the baddies, and then we get to some of the good pirates from later. King George's soldiers, the zombies, mermaids, Blackbeard, all them. Got them all here too. And we'll get to the Pirates of the Caribbean shelf here in just a moment. Over here, I've got all the Lord of the Rings minifigures. I did this in kind of two sections here. I've got all the Lord of the Rings figures, and then on the next shelf, I've got all of the Hobbit figures because there were considerably more, but I started up here. I've just got the Fellowship starting with Gandalf, and then Gandalf the White, and then I've got all the Frodo, Sam, Merry, Pippin, Aragorn. One of my favorite minifigures of all time is the Gondor, Aragorn, Legolas, Boromir, Éomer here, and Haldir. You can see I don't actually display them with their weapons a lot. I kind of really only do it if it adds to it. So like I felt like Elrond, you know, I felt like that elvish sword added to Elrond, and at the time, this was the only, you know, these were the only sets you can get them with. I know they've reused it later now, but for example, that shield is exclusive for King Theoden. So if it's an exclusive weapon, or if it really adds to the minifigure, I keep the weapon with them. Otherwise, I don't, because there just gets to be, you know, imagine everybody with the sword. It just kind of distracts from the minifigure, and I collect the minifigures, not necessarily the swords. So I just have them in a pile. Another one of my favorite minifigures is right here. The Mouse of Sauron. Just look at the detail on that helmet. Amazing. Who else can I call out here? Of course, all the, you know, the King of the Dead here too, and his soldiers. Those all great. I love all the orcs too, and the ring race, and the Green. Of course, he's a very expensive minifigure, probably just because he came in an expensive set and was exclusive. But that is all of them. And then, like I said, over here, I actually have the Hobbit minifigures, including a second of the exclusive Bilbo minifigure. And I've got all the dwarves set up here first, the 13 dwarves, and I go into Radagast. That little piece there is like $30 for whatever reason too. It's just a collectible piece, I guess, and well used and easy to misplace. I've got Dane Ironfoot with an awesome minifigure there as well. So I've got all the Hobbit minifigures here. Thandriel, again, one of my favorite minifigures of all time. You can see I'm really biased here to Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. It's my absolute favorite theme. Even the Lake Town, Master of Lake Town, like just look at the face expression on him, and then the Lake Town Guard, that's all great as well. I'll go down now and get these other two shelves. So just the other side of that Spider-Man shelf, I got the Stark Jet there. Again, just trying to get some verticality with some of these so everything's not just sitting down on the ground. We've got the Ant-Man. This is the Ant-Man shelf from before. We've got the Ant-Man minifigures over here, and then we've got all the tiny micro figures there. Those are all cool. I just like having those. I've got the rest of them actually on the helicarrier for the agents there. Baby Groots, just a couple of Doctor Strange variants, and then we've got the Shang-Chi, and then the Doctor Stranges here as well. I really like the ancient one, and you can see there on the fan, that's actually printed. And these original Doctor Strange here had some printed tiles too, or dishes, and it's a shame. You look at the details on those. She's weirdly not that expensive, and I'm not sure why. I would have thought she would have been more, because it was kind of hard to get that set, but just look at the fan and look at that fine printing on there. That is Lego at its finest, and that was the original Doctor Strange set. All right, we have more of the mechs, and then the Mighty Micros are just kind of silly and weird, but I don't know, they're unique, they're different. Other side, we've got the Captain Marvel Quinjet. We've got the Hulks here. Again, I'm gonna make a Hulk shelf. And then over here, we've got the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Ronan the Accuser, another one of my favorite minifigures. Just looking at all the details there. Let me know, would you want to see like a top 10 minifigure set or a video? I could definitely do that. Of course, it would be my opinion, but pretty much all my videos are my opinion. So hopefully we agree on most things. And I've got Groot there. And I've kind of got some bad guys. I've got the AIM agents, the drones, and then some outriders and kind of the minions here because I was running out of room. And then up here, I actually have the Hobbit villains. I know the cave troll isn't. I just needed him here for room purposes, but I've got the Necromancer, Witch King, all the Azogs, and then the kind of orcs and the goblins from the Hobbit series. And then I've got a little avatar shelf here for the minifigures. I've got all the minifigures lined up there. They look pretty good. I've got the new sets that are ordered that are supposed to arrive on Monday, and I'm going to do reviews on those as well as the new Marvel sets and the Lord of the Rings brickheads. I've got the original UCS Hulkbuster. Gosh, that just like hurts my soul seeing that every single time. Every time I look at it, it just gets worse. You just see it more and more every single time. I think the first time I built it, it didn't bother me, but now it's all I can see are those blue axles. So I've got him there, and then down here you can see I've got that other side of the sanctum, and then I can kind of turn it around, display it however I want to as well. And I've got the original Sanctum Sanctorum there too. As you can tell, I'm actually quite a big fan of Doctor Strange. He's one of my favorite of the Marvel superheroes in general. So I've got that original set there too. That was actually the first Lego set my wife gave me as a present. So this one's super special to me. All right, so then from the other side, we've got the other side of Mjolnir. We've got the second version of the Avengers Tower on this side. We have the first version right there, and then have the other side of the bridge battle. Other side of the bust, and then the Hulkbuster, and then the other side of the bugle as well. And then of course, we've got the Tower of Orthanc here. Love the set. Love all those juicy details on the inside. Just what an excellent set. Great set overall. Really, really love that one. And it just keeps going. It just keeps going. All right, so turn over here. Spoiler alert for a future video. Just picked that bad boy up. That's the Adventurers Dino Island headquarter, and I got a couple of other ones that were used. I got them for a really good deal, so I'm actually going to do a review on those in the future. But then in here, I've got the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to open this door actually so that there's no glare. I got the kind of Guardians of the Galaxy section with all the different ships. Of course, the UCS Benatar, the regular Benatar, and then this Milano is really good. Another top 10 Marvel set in my opinion. I don't even know if it's underrated or just unknown. It's kind of older. It's one of the first Marvel sets that came out. Really good, and actually so is the Nova Starfighter. This is another really, really good set too. But I've got kind of all my Guardians of the Galaxy sets here on display. Didn't really care too much for this version of the Milano. And then this is the Benatar. For people who don't know, the Milano was destroyed in the second movie, and then in Infinity War they got the Benatar. I see some confusion with that sometimes. And then down here we have the Hulkbuster. I'm sorry, I call that the Hulkbuster, the Helicarrier. And I can actually make that move there. Woo! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did you hear my voice? Uh-oh. Alright, I gotta fix that. But all those little propellers are, of course, supposed to move. For some reason, that one is not. When you've moved 3 times in 4 years, stuff like this is bound to happen. And I've got the original Quinjet. I dislike this angle right here. It just looks disconnected, unfortunately. So really excited to build the new one. I think it'll be good. Otherwise, this is a really good Quinjet with so much interior space. I mean, just look at this. This pops off, and you've just got all that interior space in there. Otherwise, an excellent set. Just really, really dislike how disconnected that looks there from the head. This is the Age of Ultron version. All right, so this next section is very special to me. Some of my favorite, second favorite Legos theme of all time behind Lord of the Rings. Maybe it's 1A and 1B, to be honest. Depends on my mood. If I'm feeling extra nostalgic, this is definitely my favorite. These are the old Western sets. I've got the cowboys up here, and I've got the Native Americans down here. There were 2 separate themes, actually. This was Western, and then this was Native American. But yeah, I've got Fort Lego Rado. Of course, I've got all the sets. And then this was a separate set, as well as this one was a separate set. That was just a little kind of battle pack before battle packs were a thing. This was just a little like villain battle pack, and then that was the kind of downtown bank area, which was one set that came with the little bank vault thing, little carriage there. That was another set too. I think that was called Bandit Lockup or something like that. And then this was the sheriff lockup. This was the little sheriff's office and the little escape. There's a cool mechanism where you can actually slide that dynamite piece in there and it blows off part of the wall, which was really cool. It uses a little spring action on it, which you don't see a lot in Lego anymore. And then one last one down here. I just didn't have room up top. It was too crowded. Is the bandit's secret hideout with the little trap door back there. You actually pull the string and that little cannon flies out from back there. And then I've got the Native American sets here too. The biggest set was right here. These TPs are really cool as well. I actually have some of the stuff I have spares of just in case it gets damaged from light. This is UV protected plexiglass, but just in case it does, I've got some spare ones. And then I've got the other Native American set here. The other one too, I'm forgetting the name. I think this one was called like Rough Water Village or something like that. And then this was kind of a smaller set, an even smaller set. This was just a single set of the Chief, which I thought was cool. And then this was a little poly bag. Like I said, I used to collect Star Wars. I actually had the Millennium Falcon on display over there. I had the Star Destroyer out here. I had the Tantive 4. But it just was starting to get too much and trying to collect all this other stuff, so I stopped with Star Wars. So this is my Star Wars shelf. I've got the Employee X-Wing back there. I was very into Star Wars. I'm kind of just here on Star Wars these days. I'm just a little bit tired of it. So I do have some of the exclusive ones back there, and then I just thought it'd be a cool way to display. If I had one Star Wars shelf, I was like, okay, well, I should just use the 20th anniversary sets. So I actually have the original Slave 1 2 that I'm going to put right there, and then I have the original Snowspeeder that I'm going to put right there. So it'll kind of be the 20th anniversary, and then it'll be the original ones that they're based off of, and I have the dropship that'll go here too. So I've got that, and I've got all the special figures here from that series. Like I said, I do have that Super Star Destroyer, so I've got the minifigures for it here just because they're very expensive minifigures. I didn't want to put them in a bag. And I've got all the light up minifigures. You can see the lightsabers actually work on them. This came out when I was in, like, I think it was 5th grade with the third Star Wars movie. They did these, and it was like the only time they did it. The other one there was a city set with a police officer that had a flashlight that lit up, but these are just so different and so unique. You can see it's all one piece there. You can't take the head off. If you want to actually change the batteries, as you can tell, I keep the batteries updated so they don't corrode and damage the figures. But if you actually want to change the battery, you have to pop off the left arm, and then the back will pop off after that. So it's kind of tedious, and you have to be very careful because you don't want to break the torsos. So I do have those all changed. I change them periodically, but I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm just gonna remove the battery from them just to make sure that they don't corrode and damage anything, but also I don't want to keep popping the arms off and risk actually breaking the torsos, which is why I think Lego stopped with these in the first place. They just don't stand up well to the time, and you can see unfortunately Obi-Wan's cape here is a little bit frayed, as is Anakin's, but the rest of them are in really Luminara, come here. The rest of them are actually in really good shape. I mean, like, look at the pristine cape on that Mace Windu, and that Darth Vader cape is pretty good too. You cannot change those capes at all. Again, you can't remove the head, so you can't really change any parts of those minifigures, which is definitely a downfall. Okay, spent too much time on Star Wars, my bad. Let's go over here to the next one. So we've got the Avatar sets. I won't spend too much time on those. Those are pretty recent sets. I think everybody's probably saw them. I did my reviews on them, but that's how I had them displayed. I got the rock structure in the back, and I got the Tree of Souls in the middle. Love that amp suit. So I am gonna have to do a mix. I'm not gonna give any more room to Avatar than what I've already done here and there. So the other minifigures will go there, and then I might put a little, maybe the amp suit right there, but I'm not going to give any more space to Avatar, so I'm going to have to probably make some difficult decisions here and decide, okay, what's going to stay from this series and then from the new series that came out, and I'll have to put the other ones in storage. But then down here I've got the Hobbit sets, and the way that I did the Hobbit is I've kind of got some stuff mixed in with Lord of the Rings too, but I've got the Hobbit over here, and down here I got the Lord of the Rings over here, so we'll get to that in a second. But what I've done with the Hobbit is I kind of have it progress along with the movie. I just thought that would be kind of cool because you can see a lot of the sets feel similar to what they're based off of in the movie. So I've got kind of like the intro with the Goblin King battle from the first movie, and then that tree at the end of it. Terrible set. And I've got like Mirkwood here with the wall, and I've got the Mirkwood jail in the actual back there. And then we get to the Mirkwood spiders, which should technically be over here, but it just kind of flows better with Dol Guldur. And I've got the Dol Guldur set up with the little set here, the bigger set, and then the little wall extension there. And then from there, they go to Lake Town, right? And then we've got Lake Town set up there with the first set, and then the second set's back there. And we've got kind of like the Battle of Five Armies there. And then, of course, we've got the Lonely Mountain itself, and then Smaug. So that all looks pretty good. And I just kind of threw that there because I didn't have space up top here and needed to have it there. But that's the Riddle of the Ring set. Down here, I've got all the pirate sets. I'm sad to say, but I need more space. I definitely want to display that castle, and I think it's going to go right here. So I might actually have to pick up the Pirates of the Caribbean set, which is part of the reason I wanted to do this video now. Was I'm going to do one now, and I'm going to probably do one in a few months or a year in the future to show you all the updates that I've done and all the progression I've made with my, how I display it. But got all the Pirates of the Caribbean sets here, every single one of them. I do kind of, you'll notice I've got some minifigures spread around too that I have, some of the sets come with multiple minifigures where you get, that same version of Jack Sparrow. I believe that's the most popular one. So instead of just putting them in a baggie and putting them in that closet like I've done with a lot of the figures, I was like, okay, well, I'll just leave them out and kind of give some of these displays a little bit more life. So these are the Pirates of the Caribbean sets. That's a great set back there, the lighthouse. I think this works still. Yeah, that works. Boop. There you go. And then down here, I'm going to keep this as is. These are all the ships. Of course, I've got the Black Pearl, awesome set. I've got the Silent Mary, and I got the Queen Anne's Revenge. It's kind of funny because in terms of iconism, right, or however you want to say it, how iconic something is, more iconic, right? More probably second or third, kind of 2A, 2B. But in terms of building experience, this is by far the best building experience. I mean, the scale with the cannons, like look at that. So those are cannons compared to those cannons. Like they're just, look at the line of cannons going down the side of the ship. The scale here is just so different. It's so unique. It's a pain to transport and move. I will say that. These are much better to move. But building-wise, Lego building-wise, technique-wise, what a treat of a set. And this actually does pop up here too. I'm not going to do it because I'll probably break something, but that does ratchet up, which is cool. And then of course we got the Queen Anne's Revenge, which it's still just a little bit bigger than the Black Pearl. I remember buying the Black Pearl. I bought it on the second-hand market. I did not buy this when it first came out, so I paid a hefty penny for it. And I was disappointed with the build. I mean, I spent $600 on it, but still, it just wasn't. I was like, okay, that was it. When I got the Queen Anne's Revenge for a similar price and I built it, I was like, okay, that was a really cool building experience. And when I got this bad boy for like half that price, I was like, that was the best one. So really, really good sets. All right, and then I think the tour is coming to an end here. We got one more cabinet. If you've hung on for this long, thank you. Hope you've enjoyed it. Drop a like, subscribe, you know the deal. But up here I've got the Lord of the Rings sets. I've got again, you can tell I'm kind of biased towards Lord of the Rings because they're definitely given the most space here. Rivendell is going to go down there, but I've got the Helm's Deep up here, of course. I got the wall extension on that. Got the pirate ship as well from the Lord of the Rings, the Umbar Pirates, I believe is what they were called. And then I know this is a Hobbit set, but I'm going to say it's a Lord of the Rings set. Also, there's no room over here, so it's over here. It fits in just fine. I've got some of the other sets here too. And then this was cool. Very common minifigure. Well, fairly common. I know a lot of the Hobbit minifigures are very rare, but this one came in. You could get multiple of them in the wave, but this was for actually watching the movie, they gave this out. So this card in the back is what's exclusive and rare. I had to order that from the UK. They didn't do that in the US. I've got the Bilbo in his pajamas, still sealed, of course, in the original poly bag. I don't know, I'll probably take them out. Minifigures actually hold their value pretty well, even if they're out of the poly bag. So down here, I've got the Black Gate. I've got the Hobbit game. These are some of just the coolest Lego figures, I think, of all time. They're little statues, but they're just incredibly rare and different. You don't see this in a lot of themes. I think these are so cool. They came with the game. So I've got the Lord of the Rings game here. I've got the Hobbit game there. In the back, I've got Treebeard, and then I've got the Orc Forge there too. And then down here, this is my wife's section. She's a Harry Potter fan, but she's kind of given me permission to take the space and use it elsewhere. So we'll see. But I've got the Diagon Alley, of course. She built that all by herself. She's very proud of that one. I've got the micro scale Diagon Alley, really, really cool, expensive figure there. And I've got the Hogsmeade, and then the Hagrid's Hut, and then down here, just an awesome set, the nano scale Hogwarts Castle. If you're on the fence about this one, get it before it retires, because it will skyrocket in price. Got all the nano statue figures kind of spread throughout there too. You can see, just created different scenes with it. And what I think is really cool is you can see right here is where it splits. It comes with 4 booklets, so my wife actually built that part, and I got to build that part, and I love it when Lego does that, because then you can kind of enjoy the building experience with somebody else. So that's exactly how we did that. So kind of a special set for us. Really, really fun set. So all right, that was it. That was the tour here. So there's Maya again. Can you say hi, Maya? So yeah, that was the tour. I guess I showed you the back room there, the backlog. Oh, Maya went out. There you go. Oh, there's the cat. Hi, Finn. And some, again, Lego everywhere. I've got a couple of sets up here, just some Marvel stuff, and then I am going to do a, this one's still sealed. I'm going to do a review on that one, the Lego Studios set here. Womp womp, did not buy it for that price. So I've got one more room to show. Let me go to that room, and we'll finish the video. Okay, so this is the last stop on the tour. I've got all my instructions in here organized by theme and sub-theme. I've got all my sets in here. Those are actually old, just bulk Lego, but I've got all the Winter Village sets are up in here. And then I've got all my pieces. You can see I've used the Brick Architect. I forget what it was called. I'll link it in the description. I used his labels. They're free. Highly recommend those labels. But again, when I moved, all these pieces got mixed up and dumped over because these were dumped on their back. So I've got all the extra pieces there and up there that dumped out, and they're all over the place. So I just need to spend a weekend going through those. And then, like I said, I've got all my sets that I just don't have room to display. So I think in here is looks like mostly Jurassic World. So I've got like the mutant dinosaurs are in there. I keep them in individually wrapped bags, and then I put them in a bigger bag just to keep them in as good a condition as possible. I got that 4+ set. So yeah, see, I've got like the Spider-Man drone in here. So it looks like there's a mix of Marvel. I've got the what's that called? The Sea Leopard from the Black Panther movie. So different sets in here. So this is what I do with them. I take the minifigures out and I display them like you saw, and then I just take the sets and I build them, of course. That's why I like doing my list on them, is because I have to build them in order to know how good they are and how they compare to the other ones, but it doesn't mean I necessarily display them all the time. But I have built all of them. Like I said, I've got all the Jurassic Park sets, I've got all the Marvel sets, all the Lord of the Rings sets, all the Hobbit sets, all the Pirates of the Caribbean, and more. I don't want to go through all of them and like make it seem like I'm showing off here, but got a couple of Harry Potter sets in here too that just don't have room to display anymore. So that's what these are all. Those are empty, but those 2 are full. That one's full as well, of just the sets that I don't have room for. And like I said, I've got some still over there in boxes that I'm actually going to have to build them and get them all sorted, and I'm going to put them in these boxes here too. So I imagine I'll probably fill up another 3 of these with sets that I'm not displaying. any longer. And then again, all the Winter Village sets are down in there, and I've got some old Star Wars sets from my wee childhood there in that bin as well. All right, so like I said, that is the collection. That is the tour. You got to see my backlog that was back in there. I went to the other room and I actually showed you where I store all the sets. Like I mentioned, I've got all the sets. I build all the sets, and that's how I come up with the list that I make. And then you got to kind of make the cut to be out here in this room. So yeah, that's the collection tour. I'm Grinch. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked this content, consider liking, subscribing, and joining the conversation in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.